What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my main event prediction for UFC 288. We have Henry Cejudo going against Aljamain Sterling.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back for another breakdown and prediction. This week, breaking down a very special main event. Really looking forward to this one. We have the return of Henry Cejudo, and he's taking on Aljamain Sterling here. Really good fight. And it's a weird fight. It's a tough fight to call. It's a fight where there's a lot of question marks and a lot of unknowns on the side of Henry Cejudo, who we have not seen in a very long time. But it's an interesting fight to break down. We'll see if we can pick the winner here and see if we can make some money on this main event. But before we get into it, if you guys can please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you do not already. Getting really close to that 20K subs. I think we're less than like 250 away. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to do so. I'm going to be posting my full card breakdown and prediction video on Monday. But we have Henry Cejudo going against Aljamain Sterling. We're going to start with the tail of the tape. We got Henry Cejudo, 36 years old, 5'4", with a 67.5-inch reach, 16-2 and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Aljamain Sterling, 33 years old, 5'7", with a 71-inch reach, 22-3 and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Let's look at these odds. We have Henry Cejudo, who opened up -150, currently -105, and then Aljamain Sterling, it was Aljamain Sterling opening up -150, currently -115. It was actually Henry Cejudo opening up +130. He is now sitting at -105. So a straight pick him here. And to be honest, that's kind of how I see it. Pre-tape feelings, I was like, man, I think stylistically it's a winnable matchup for Henry Cejudo. He has incredible takedown defense. I mean, the guy has 93% takedown defense. He's been taken down, I think, once, maybe twice in the UFC, and both those times he popped right back up. So is Aljamain Sterling a guy with only a 24% takedown accuracy going to go out there and take this guy down and control him? Honestly, I doubt it. But there's all the narrative things on the Henry Cejudo side. Like, this is a guy that has not fought in literally almost 3 years. I think in a couple weeks or so, it's going to be 3 years since the last time Henry Cejudo has fought. And what's he been doing over these last 3 years? I know he's been doing a lot of coaching, but what's he been doing, right? Like, we have not seen him in so long. And at this point, 3 years later, he's now a 36-year-old bantamweight. He's, going to be undersized in this matchup. He's going to have a 3-inch height disadvantage. He's going to have a couple-inch reach disadvantage as well. So yeah, stylistically, I think it's a fight where if this fight was a few years ago, Henry Cejudo all day, it's just the fact that he's been off for so long, coming off of retirement, makes this fight really, really tough to call for me. I've never really been a big fan of Aljamain Sterling. If I'm being honest, I keep picking against the guy, and he keeps going out there and winning. There has been some unusual circumstances with this fight, though. In the first Petr Yan fight, he was on his way to losing that fight, and as we know, Petr Yan with the illegal knee disqualification win for Aljamain Sterling. And then the last time out against TJ Dillashaw, we saw TJ Dillashaw actually go in there with an injury and re-injure that shoulder within like the first minute of the fight. So some interesting circumstances, but he went out there in that second Petr Yan fight and looked really good. He took him down a couple times, took his back and controlled him. It's just, does he do that to Henry Cejudo? I'm not so sure. On the feet, I like what I see from really both guys. I like both guys in their striking. It's going to be Henry Cejudo, who's a little bit more low volume, but more power, really good, really hard leg kicks, and then a ton of power in his hands, where Aljamain Sterling is more of the volume guy, go out there and do a ton. The volume numbers in terms of this fight, Aljamain Sterling lands 4.7 significant strikes per minute to Henry Cejudo's 3.92. But like I said, it's going to be Cejudo with the more powerful shots, the more impactful shots. But it's going to be Sterling probably outlanding Cejudo in terms of the volume. I don't think this fight hits the mat. I really don't. But if it does, and if Sterling is somehow able to take down Cejudo, he can probably bank a whole round. Like, Sterling, when he gets your back, you're not getting him off of your back. You're staying there for the entire round. We saw that plenty of times, most notably in that Petr Yan fight. He took us back, and that's the round. That's the wrap. Could he do that to Cejudo? I don't really think so. But if he does, it's probably a round. Maybe he can potentially take his back standing, but even then, I don't really see it. I see this fight taking place on the feet, and when it is on the feet, I think it's a competitive fight. But where I'm struggling is you have a guy in Henry Cejudo who's been off for 3 years, coming off of retirement, now a 36-year-old bantamweight, going against the guy in Aljamain Sterling who's never looked better. I mean, this guy, Aljamain Sterling, like I said, he keeps proving me wrong. He's making improvements. He's training with really good guys. He's training with Merab Dvalishvili on the daily. Obviously, you're going to improve when you're with when you're with that guy, and we see it. We see those improvements. Sterling 3 years younger. Sterling's bigger, and most importantly for me, Sterling's just been more active. He's fought a lot more than Henry Cejudo. Like, for example, in the last 3 years, Henry Cejudo has not fought, and then in the last 3 years for Sterling, he has multiple fights. So he's just been much, much more active. So, like I said, if Cejudo was not coming off of this massive layoff, and it's a massive layoff, it's a very, very long layoff, and going right into a title fight, I don't think I can pick him here. So I'm going to go with Sterling. But yeah, like I said, Sterling in the last couple years, he's fought TJ Dillashaw, beat him. He beat Petr Yan. He beat Petr Yan again with the illegal knee disqualification. He submitted Corey Sandhagen. He has very good wins. We can't deny his wins. Whether a couple were flukish or not, you can't deny his wins. Very good wins. TJ Dillashaw, great win, injury or not. Petr Yan, great win both times. Maybe the decision could have went the other way, or whether that illegal knee, there's still good wins. There's still good names. Corey Sandhagen, very good win. Submitted him in the first round. So he's being more active. He's going out there. He's having good performances, and he's winning fights. So I'm going to take Aljamain Sterling here to win this fight, and I think it's by decision. I don't think he's knocking out Cejudo, obviously, and then I don't think he's submitting Cejudo as well. Quite frankly, I don't think this fight hits the ground all that much. I guess what would be interesting is if Cejudo wanted to get takedowns. I think if he wants to, he can very easily. I don't think Sterling has good takedown defense, but Cejudo is not really a good control grappler. And then on top of that, Sterling does have a good get-up game. So even if Cejudo does go for takedowns, I don't really see him doing much with those takedowns at all. So yeah, I expect this fight to take place on the feet. I expect it to be close. The power of Cejudo, the volume of Sterling, but Sterling's going to have a height reach advantage, been more active, so I got to go the Sterling side. In terms of betting this fight, I don't know. I'm curious to see where this line goes. I really am, because money has came in by the looks of it on Henry Cejudo. Like I said, Sterling opened up -150. He's currently -115. If I can get Sterling as a dog, I think I'll have to play it just because of the narrative on the Cejudo side, just because he has been out for so long. So if I can get dog money on Sterling, I'm going to play it, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. I'll have to look out throughout the week, but it looks like best price on Aljamain Sterling is -105. So not terrible, but again, I've never been the biggest Aljamain Sterling guy. It's just there's a lot of things going against Henry Cejudo in this matchup, I feel like. I'm curious to see what, they have props out. They have the over-under set at, looks like 4.5 rounds. The over 4.5 around -160. The under 4.5 +120. Fight goes to decision -142. I really don't see a finish in this matchup. At least not an early finish. I'd be very surprised if there was an early finish in this matchup. I think this does go the full 25, and I think it's a pretty competitive fight as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take Aljamain Sterling to win this one. I'm going to take him to win this one by decision, but not my most confident pick of the card for UFC 288. I think there's a lot better spots on the card, but if I was forced to make a bet here, it would be on the Aljamain Sterling side, but I would be more inclined to do so if I got some plus money on the champion there. So there you have it. Thank you guys for watching the breakdown. More to come for UFC 288. I'm going to be getting out my full card breakdown and prediction video on Monday, breaking down, I think we have 14 fights for UFC 288. Very good card, very good main card, very good main event we just talked about, and then a very good co-main event, 5-round fight. Gilbert Burns going against Bilal Muhammad. Cannot wait for that fight as well. So yeah, guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all the support week in and week out. Should be a fun fight card here. Should be a very fun main event. But I'm gonna take Sterling here for this one, and I'll pick this guy to win by decision. We'll see what happens. I think I've picked against Sterling the last 3 fights, maybe last 4 fights. It has not worked out. I'm switching over to going with the champ here. We'll see what happens, but give me Sterling to get it done. Best of luck for UFC 288. We'll talk to you all very soon, and see you later.